Talk to me about high school. A lot of people won't know about your physical activities, and this goes back to what we were talking about you being a bit of a daredevil. You got into skating at some point, and you're quite a good skateboarder. You've always had that kind of footwork thing that I never got. Pole vaulting. You were a pole vaulter. I think a lot of people would be really surprised to learn that about you.
Yeah, I was a pole vaulter.
It became, I think, clear in high school that music was a lot more part of what you did. I know that you were in at least one play that I remember.
Mm-hmm. I was in the Little Shop of Horrors.
That's right. Okay.
Mr. Mushnick.
There we go. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember you being on stage and singing that and just killing it and everyone loving it. So it was great. There was Sebaceous JNC that came along, which is a band that you and your friend created just for fun. And Brian Ash, right?
Yeah, Brian Ash.
You have a nickname that's Mortimer. And he became rather popular because of this club that you made up with your friends, and it was named after you.
Club Mortimer was just a little phase. They called me Mortimer in high school because I was new to the school in Hermiston, and my coach kept forgetting my name, my pole vaulting coach, and so when he finally asked me for the umpteenth time what my name was, I told him it was Mortimer, just because that was the first name I came up with. And then from then on, he called me Mortimer, and everybody else called me Mortimer. Anyway, Club Mortimer was funny because it was like just a bunch of kids at lunch getting together and having secret meetings and figuring out ways to make fun of teachers or get away with things in public. Like, we would produce newsletters and things like this that would feature different people and things like that.
So, which was an underground, do you like to use the secretive terminology to come up with, to kind of create interest in those types of things?
Yeah.
Seems like you called it an underground newspaper.
I wasn't like lord of a secret society. Mm-hmm. My friends and I were just having a good time.
Mm-hmm. But it had a lot of interest, and I'm sure it gave the kids at school a lot of fodder to just talk about and enjoy. Yeah,
you know, there's something I learned is that people always want to be a part of something, no matter what it is. And sometimes, you know, I would often come up with really great ideas, things I'd like to do, but, you know, I'd be a little bit too scared to take them on myself or whatever. Mm-hmm. But whenever you just take a chance and ask somebody if they want to do something, 99% of the time they're down with it, you know. Mm-hmm. Like Deep Love, for example, is just...
Mm-hmm. So would you say that the concept for Deep Love then was kind of born in this crucible of Club Mortimer, that the concept of being able to do that and get people on board with something?
Well, I knew that I could. And I've always been able to just get people together to do something just because I know that people want to.
How early did you realize this? I mean, how old were you when you realized that you had this ability to just throw ideas out there and get people together? Because obviously it's more than just saying it. You actually pull a lot of things off. You get people involved. You seem to be able to do those types of things. So how early were you experimenting with that, and when did you realize that that was something you were good at?
I can't remember the first time, but I remember all in grade school, you know, that there's a lot of followers, you know. You kind of just, if there's a leader, then there's always followers. So if whatever you want to do, if you want to do something stupid, maybe your friends won't want to do it, but some of the other kids might want to do it. You know, so there will always be people
who are
willing to do anything, whatever it is. And so I consider everybody to be my friend in that way. Because if my friends, because I have some really lame friends, you know, friends that wouldn't do a lot of things that I want to do, but I don't have to deal with those people in those scenarios. I deal with other people, and we go off and have fun over here. So that in that way, I learned to make a lot of friends and to not have a lunch table. You know, I never had a lunch table in high school or in grade school or in junior high, because I was able to sit almost anywhere.
And it seems like a lot of people get that lunch table because they have a need for some type of stability or security, or that gives them a sense of belonging. And it's always seemed, this is not something new to me, but it's always seemed like you've never felt that need to just have these people include you. You've been able to see the bigger picture and say, you know, I've got lots of options here.
Yeah, well, I have that at home. You know, I have that security when I go home every day.
Which is nice.
Yeah, so why would I want to feel safe and secluded at school? That's my chance, the only chance I have to get out and do things and to meet new people and make things happen.
Very nice. I like that. And then there was school, right? On the side. And I don't know, but it appeared to me from brother's perspective that school took a little bit of a back seat to a lot of the other things that were going on in your life at that.
School to me is a really great opportunity it's a really good venue to explore your talents and to perform. Not necessarily like music and things like that, but in day-to-day life, you know, impressing a certain person or learning a certain trade or figuring out how to make a certain person laugh, things like that. Those are the reasons why I go to school. And it just to be around people, because when I'm at home, you know, when the day is done, I crawl back into my little cave and I don't see the sun again. So being forced to go to school is awesome, because there's nothing quite like when you come out of a cave, emerging with something, you know. I would go in at night, you know, crawl into my bed, and I'd emerge with new ideas in the morning, and I'd go and try things out at school and among people. And
so that was something you feel like you need is the ability to take the things that you've been coming up with and giving them to people and trying them out.
Yeah, and that's why I don't know. School wasn't the reason I was going to school. Schoolwork is completely secondary to anything. I didn't really enjoy learning math or social studies. Like, who needs these things? I do love some of going into college, that's when I started liking school. But I loved school in high school, but just to be around people and to experiment with people.
I think we've covered high school quite nicely. Is there anything we've left out you want to say about high school?
High school was a blast. I would totally do it again. I would totally do high school again.
Not everyone can say that, including me. I don't think I would want to do that again, but that's awesome. Now, knowing what I now know, maybe I want to go and try high school again and try it from a different perspective, from Ryan's perspective.